doesn't want to predict the future? And if instead of one prediction, you can get 100 or more, hmm? That would be nice. And this could help your business, your personal brand, your things in a really insightful way. So, Mr. Ross Brand gather again lots of people, and I don't want to. Today when I was writing down the description, I was about to write experts, but I thought, oh my god, I'm included, I'm calling myself an expert. Oh my god, you can't do that on social media. Social media gods will come after me to punish me because I call it myself expert. So I think we can call professionals with really good ideas. And so today it's time to talk about this book. Hello to you. Let me know where are you located. Let me know if you are watching us on Amazon, on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitch, and Twitter. Oh my god. So this will be a nice live show. And by the way, you can find, if you are watching on Amazon, there's no way that you can go wrong. You just click or tap that product in the carousel. I have both books from Ross Brand, the 100 predictions from 2022, and also 100 predictions 2021. I don't think it's as good as this one this year because it had me. But who knows? And if you are watching on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Facebook, you can find the link in the description. But I think soon I will put it again in the comment section so I can ease the process of you getting to the book. Okay, so let's bring Mr. Ross because he was eating the cookie I left there. I think I can bring Ross to the screen. Hello, my friend. Welcome.
Hey, Marco. Thanks so much for having me, and thanks for being a part of the book this year. It's great to have you in the book, and this is becoming an annual ritual where the book comes out and we get together and we talk about it on Amazon Live and the other platforms. So, man, thanks for supporting it. And
my pleasure. And okay, because last year I was a little bit sneaky with you because I asked if there was room for the 101 predictions. That's the problem when you're with Portuguese. They will try to make some sneaky things. And by the way, we have here Tommy. Hello, Tommy. Greetings, my friend Marco. Thank you for having a guest. Hello and welcome for Ross. Thank you so much, Tommy, for tuning in. And by the way, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask in the comment section. I will try to pay attention to all of them and endorse them as well. So, Ross, before getting into the conversation, can you please introduce yourself so people get to know you a little bit better?
Sure. I have a background in radio, and then I left broadcasting altogether. In 2015, I found a platform called Blab and fell in love with it again, and been live streaming ever since. Blab was the starting point, but after that kind of went away. We were able to live stream to social media and more recently multi-stream as you are now. And now there's Amazon Live and shopping live streams. So we've seen this grow and change over the years. But I've been hosting shows, working with brands, helping people learn how to host better, learn how to develop their talent for broadcasting, so to speak. A lot of people come from social media, they come from marketing, or they come from a tech background. What's a little different from me, I come from a broadcasting background, so I've been able to help people with that side of it and shaping content and helping people hone their hosting skills, basically, you know, what it takes to host a show and you know, also what it's involved in promoting shows and so forth. And then The predictions have been something that I've done every year since 2015 was about to turn to 2016. So this is the seventh year of the predictions. Started as a blog post last 2 years. It's been a book as well, and the book has stuff that's not in the blog. This year we have 30 additional contributors, so we not only have 100 predictions, but we have 30 ideas and strategies. And of course, the predictions within them, you'll find strategies. And within the strategies, you'll find predictions because the strategies are focused on, what's working now and going to work in the future. And there's an expanded resources section in the back of the book. And I added an epilogue about how, the whole first book came together, and then there's a forward by Dale Roberts and an introduction by me where I sort of sum up the state of the internet in a couple of pages, and offer some tips for live streaming. But it's more than just live streaming. It's all different types of digital media. We have podcasters and YouTubers and course creators and online entrepreneurs and tech CEOs and people who come to this digital media space from all different angles.
Awesome, awesome. And we already have one question from Tommy. Ross, are you working with any of the Amazon Launchpad companies?
I'm not familiar with Amazon Launchpad, actually. So tell me what that is. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not.
Okay, awesome. And by the way, let's say hello to Garin Bulani, which is on LinkedIn. Hello, my friend. Good to see you here. And one, okay, it's new startup companies.
Oh, okay. Probably not. I don't know for sure, but probably I would know if they were part of that. But I'm gonna look that up when we're done Amazon Launchpad and find out a little more about it. Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, perfect. That's always good to learn. And this is something that live streaming has good, that brings this real-time interaction. And by the way, you were talking about Blab.
Yeah,
And I don't know about you. I have this saying, please don't steal it from me, because I used to say that it was love at first live. And
there you go.
when I was there for the first time, a friend of mine invited me, a really nice person, and even also one of, if yeah, it is the best and the most famous LinkedIn expert here in Portugal and even in Brazil. He asked me, and when I ended the conversation, I was like, my God, this is the thing. So my question, Ross, did you have the same feeling? And let's go connect this to the conversation and the
Sure. So
of today. Which things did you predicted that could be potentially attached to live streaming?
So when I stepped into Blab, it was absolutely, I fell in love with it. I didn't
Okay.
I didn't even know what I was expecting. I had been out of radio for a while and thought that my time doing this kind of stuff was done, and I was very much okay with that. In fact, that's kind of what I wanted, and I stepped into Blab, and it was like, wow, this is like talk radio heaven, but with webcams. And I was fascinated by the fact that everybody was kind of doing a talk show and an interview show but they were talking about social media and marketing and building a personal brand and things that relate to entrepreneurs and people in business and people who are content creators. I don't even think we called them creators in 2015, but that's essentially who we were talking to, and that's who was on these platforms. And I just loved it. I thought there was good stuff on it, and so yeah, it was definitely like love at first live, as you said, without a doubt. And I just fell in love with broadcasting again, but this time, geared toward an online audience and with a live chat and just all the things that make live streaming special. What was the second half of the question?
Well, meanwhile, you remember me. I remember because while we were live, we got those props
Right,
and
right,
was
right.
like, I want to be the lead.
Yeah.
but the question was, the second question was, and we have Arnaldo. Oh, now he's
Hey,
in Portugal.
good to
The
see
question
Arnaldo.
is, which predictions did you made by 2015? I don't know, maybe the week after, or even on that time, you just felt for the first time in front of Blab.
Hmm. It was an interesting time that time because I did the predictions. I started Livestream Universe without the intention of actually hosting a show. I was just going to amplify what people were doing and kind of cover news related to live streaming and help people discover where different shows were each day. And at that time, that was like early October 2015. And so the predictions came out only a couple months after 2 to 3 months after I started Livestream Universe and found Blab and all that. And the issues at that time were, what does it mean that Facebook's Live was going to come online? Did that mean the end of Blab? What did it mean that Twitter bought Periscope? You know, was it do audiences want more produced stuff, or do they want more raw stuff? Is it, do audience like the Periscope style one to many? And those were some of the issues. What was going to happen with virtual reality and augmented reality, which every year has sort of been a prediction that there would be more of that, and now you're seeing the metaverse and so forth. But every year that it didn't really become a part of live streaming for most people, that was a big prediction. So those are just some of the things. What was the next social network or social media platform that was going to launch a live streaming app or a live streaming feature within it? Remember, at that time, it was Blab, it was Periscope, and for a while, it was something called Meerkat, which was sort of like Periscope. It was a phone based one to many live streaming app. And so Facebook Live, I think, was the first of the major platforms, but
Yeah,
they
I think it
all,
was.
over the next couple of years, started adding ways to go live. You had, well, Periscope was bought by Twitter, and that integration was taking place. But it would be a little while before Instagram added live. YouTube Live started for people who maybe had 10,000, or I don't remember what the barrier, but there was a barrier to entry there, and then it decreased over time. And then I guess 2019, 2018, 2019, LinkedIn Live came along, which was a big deal. Of course, Twitch has been the place for gamers, and now people are doing more and more talk on Twitch. And so I think all the major social networks. I'm not sure whether you consider Pinterest a major or a tier below, but Pinterest is the only one that, as far as I know, doesn't have live streaming. Although they have stories and they have some different options with video, so it's really commonplace. And then nobody had thought something like TikTok was going to come along and be very popular amongst people. I'm not much of a TikToker, but it's there and it's a big part
Yeah,
of what people are doing. And whether you're going live on a platform like TikTok or Instagram Reels, in other words, you don't have to be going live to make an impact on those platforms, but it's a similar kind of mindset. It's, grab your phone, do something, and you're doing it kind of in the moment. So it's like an almost live, like Instagram stories or Facebook stories. So when you think back about how far we've come, and the other thing is, right, we didn't have browser based platforms with this kind of stability and features Blab was a struggle. And then, it wasn't until I guess late 2016 that Be Live came along, and that was the first that let you add lower thirds and put comments on the screen and do those kind of things without needing an expensive large scale, an OBS or a Wirecast, one of those kind of more professional style live video production platforms that require tremendous CPU power and learning curve and all that. So Be Live came along, and it was just kind of revolutionary, because before that you had to, if you were going to change shots or put any text on the screen, you had to learn OBS or Wirecast, and you had to really invest time in setting up your broadcast each time and all that. And so Be Live made it easy, and then StreamYard a couple of years later came along as 2018 was turning to 2019, and made it stable and made it
Absolutely.
more professional, and really got the tech side behind the scenes down with how they were making it easy, regardless of what your bandwidth was at and where you were coming from. They found a way to put it together and really make it stable. And now, after that, now you're seeing all these different browser-based live streaming apps like Wave and EV Mux and Melon, and there's more than I can remember, but there's a lot of browser-based now apps coming along that are offering new features and different things. So we've come a long, long way to when we wondered if Blab was going to work that day when you went live, or if it was, the audio was going to come in and out and the person would have to refresh their screen, to now where, we're doing a show, and I don't think either one of us has given 2 seconds worth of thought once we started to, if we had the bandwidth for this, or, would it work, right? So, when you think back on how much technology's changed in what, 7 years, 6, 7 years, it's amazing.
Absolutely. Just a quick story.
Sure.
I was doing live streaming for, I don't know, maybe 2 years or more, and
Right.
then I was using Be Live by those
Right.
times, and Stephen Healy, I think you know it as well,
Mhm.
really a good live streamer, had a Be Live course on Udemy, and I went there to take a look. It was for free, and there was this video about internet speed, and he was explaining, oh, okay, you need to have at least, I don't know, I think it was 2 megabytes upload
Right.
speed. And I thought, okay, perfect, let me do the test. And so I had 0.5.
Oh man.
And I said to myself, oh my god, I'm doing this for more than 2 years without having the ideal internet speed. Now I corrected that because I got fiber, but as you can tell,
Right.
sometimes it's good to be ignorant.
Right. So you were still getting on with low, slow internet speed, right? You were still getting on. You're still able to do shows and be a guest and do all those kind of things. But obviously, for transmitting video, if you have a higher speed, it's better, right? And it's of course better if you're wired as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let me remind people, if you are watching on Amazon, you can tap the book from Ross, and
It's
it's in a
kind
deal
of caught in the
today.
green screen there, but you get the idea.
Okay. If you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, you can go to the comments, or you can just join on marketing.live, sorry, marketing.live, and you can see this on Amazon. And we have so many people here, really engaged. So let me say hello to Zach, to Rome. Let me follow the comments, because Tommy asks Amazon, think of Amazon Launchpad as a supplemental program designed to jumpstart and accelerate your Amazon business. Our program is designed with startups in mind and to help drive brand awareness. Okay, so I think that Tommy kindly grabbed this from Amazon. Ross, what do you see as the value for business to connect with your one-on-one coaching and video master classes?
I think for business, you've been through, you've just been really through an error, right? Where foot traffic to stores, to whether it's a mom and pop store that people would drive to, or it's a big store that, had a regional reach. Um, a lot of that foot traffic and a lot of people during the lockdown just weren't going to stores, or stores couldn't really stay open. And what happened was a lot of business people saved their businesses by going online and live streaming and building an audience, and in some cases not only maintaining a local audience that was used to visiting their establishment in person, but reaching people around the world who they, growing their business in a way they never thought possible. So
Absolutely.
even if you have foot traffic and the lockdowns are ending, and people are more comfortable going back to stores and such, you have the ability to provide your product or service, perhaps not everybody, but a lot of people do, to people well beyond your geographic region. And so that's one value of live streaming. The other is video is kind of how we get in front of people on the internet right now. And live streaming is a very quick way to create video content. And, if you want to do a produced video, a couple of minutes of a produced video can take an hour, whereas an hour live stream, you end up with an hour of content. That's, maybe it's not all that you're going to repurpose, but you've got some real nuggets in there, and you've done it in real time, and you've developed the skill set. So I think there's a lot of value to live streaming. Obviously, more than anything, I think there's the engagement with the audience and the credibility that comes from people knowing you went live, seeing how you react to people in the chat, seeing how you answer questions, being available to provide help. People see you helping other people. They think, okay, let me get some of that help too. They're more willing to pay for it. There's so much value to it, and to other forms of digital media too. So if live streaming isn't your thing, there's value to blogging, there's value to podcasting and videos on demand. But there's something special about live streaming and that live interaction that you have with guests, with a chat, taking on topics and providing help in real time, and just showcasing what it would be like to work with you. There's a lot of reasons to do it, and it's a very powerful medium.
Absolutely, absolutely. And by the way, we have here two Amazon influencers. So Zach and Rome, if you want to share the link to your store, please feel free to promote a little bit, because Amazon Live, it's also about helping others. And let me see, because I think it was, yeah, it was Zach that asked. And I think we can make this in a broader way, not just for Amazon. What are your tips for growing on Amazon Live?
I think you have to do what you do, and what people like the Dealcasters do, and other influencers. You have to show up a lot, and you have to really embrace the platform. It's not entirely the same as live streaming on every other platform. Yes, you can multi-stream and have Amazon be a destination, but you need to understand what's required of you on Amazon. There's a lot of rules, and then you also have to understand how the sales process works with highlighting products and having the carousel underneath the video, and making sure that you talk about the products, making products sure that there's products that are relevant to your topic or your guest. there's a lot of little things to do with Amazon, but I think it's showing up and it's learning the skill set that's really most valuable in getting good at Amazon, getting comfortable selling, getting comfortable putting out a call to action, getting comfortable with the idea that I'm here and yes, I'm doing a show. Maybe it's an interview show. Maybe I have a guest. Maybe I'm teaching something on a topic. But at some point, your purpose when you're on Amazon, if you're going to be aligned with what the platform's looking for, you need to be selling products or at least talking up products and sharing information. You have to get comfortable with that. So I think showing up a lot and doing a lot of it is valuable, particularly if you're not that experienced at delivering calls to action and highlighting products and talking about products. It's not always that natural in the beginning, but after Marco, you've probably done 5,000 Amazon lives or
Not
something.
not
It
yet.
just it rolls off the tongue. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. The nice thing about this, Ross, is that you're not afraid that people on the other side don't want to listen to you. Because, for instance, if you are talking about selling to other person that you don't know, okay, usually. If you don't do your job properly, you don't know if they are willing to buy, if they are willing to buy that given product. But in the case of Amazon, they are in the mall to buy. Okay, so
right.
probably they joined your live show because they tapped a product that you're talking about or that you have. So I think this thing about not being good at selling or being not so comfortable at selling vanishes soon
Mm.
because you understand that people are there to buy. Okay, and some they are really engaged and they asked and they, okay, I bought because you made and this is a good thing as well. And when I thought about live streaming some years back, one of the main things about it was that it's an amazing platform for you to learn because you learn from your guests, you learn
Mm.
from your audience, you learn because at the end you made a mistake and you need to avoid it next time, so you learn as well. And I think making mistakes is a nice way for you to learn. So on Amazon Live, you need to learn even more because there's a new world, a new, whole new universe of products that you need
Hmm.
to to provide insightful thoughts about them and insightful information besides just saying they are nice, they work
Right,
well.
right, right.
So that's the thing.
Yeah.
So let me get back to the comments because there's a nice stuff here. And Rome is saying that I go live on Instagram and a number of others. Nice. YOLO box, it's also growing. I don't know if you know, YOLO box.
I do. It looks fantastic. I haven't used it, but I've had Carlos Phoenix who sells them. He demonstrated to me, I guess back in 2020, just before things locked down. We were at a an event in New York City, and he demonstrated to me how it works. And since then, they've come out with a Pro, and now they've come out with a Mini. So I definitely think that as an all-in-one kind of switcher streaming solution, it's something worth looking at. I don't know if it's necessarily the answer for everything.
Absolutely.
But if you are looking for that kind of solution, if you tend to stream from different locations and you need, something small and something all in one, it's definitely the switcher kind of solution is big now, and a lot of people are using the Blackmagic A10 Mini or A10 Mini Pro or A10 Mini ISO or A10 Mini Super Pro ISO or whatever it's called. Those are great. I mean, I have an A10 Mini, and the YOLO box is another. Did I pronounce it right? YOLO box.
I think it is.
Yeah, whatever.
YOLO
What?
box.
But that is the YOLO Live, right? It's along the lines of that, and it's it's I think it's really good from what I've seen, but I'm not super experienced with it.
Absolutely. And so we have here Arnaldo. Arnaldo, I think you know him.
Yep, of
He
course.
already has the book,
Yeah,
and
and
he's
thank you, Arnaldo, for posting a picture with the book and sharing about it. I really appreciate that.
absolutely. I have the book and I recommend it. And I Romy saying I agree, and I am now offering live streaming to my professional photo and video clients. Many want to do it. They see the future of live streaming. This could be a nice a nice topic.
Right, right.
What do you see? And for instance, let me ask you this way, and this could be. Let me try to make this question to avoid.
Uh-oh. What am I
Touch.
getting into here?
Yeah, no, because I was about to ask if you want to highlight some predictions that somehow they were surprising to you, that you thought, oh my god. But I think this could be a little bit sensitive
Right,
content.
right.
So I think we should avoid this. But you can say, okay, after, without naming anyone, you can make, I don't know, maybe two, three ideas that you got from the book. Which, because I think, even though we didn't talk, the contributors didn't talk with each other about
Right.
about it, but maybe you can share some ideas that, let's think we put the book in a jumblinator, and
Right, right, right.
three ideas came out. Which one do you want to share?
So let's talk about some of the themes that run through multiple predictions in the book. One of them is what we just talked about: shopping. E-commerce, the marriage of e-commerce and live streaming, and
Guilty.
e-commerce and product videos. Right. So you talked about that, as did other people. So that's one area that people seem focused on, and I certainly believe it's going to grow. It's going to be Amazon, but it's going to be a lot of other platforms are going to offer that type of live streaming and shopping. So that's one area. Number two, I would say, what is where are we going to go to monetize? How are we going to monetize? Can you build a business doing that? Issues around that. Where is the best place to do that? What challenges do we have with organic reach versus, do we put do we do premium content? Do we put some content behind the paywall? How do we monetize? Do we do courses? Do we have memberships? A lot of different areas. I think one of the challenges that we have now is that the platforms, when they started live streaming, when they started providing the ability for people to go live, wanted to share that live stream to everybody. They were betting on a new feature, and they wanted to show you that people like it and that it's popular, and that look at what you could do if you go live. Build your strategy around live, basically, is what the major platforms said. And I'm not including Amazon here. It's completely different from the social networks that I'm talking about. But at some point, that reach diminished and was throttled to where you could go live, and everybody in your network, it seemed, was getting notified that you went live, to now a tiny percentage of people get notified when you go live. So what are you going to do to counteract that? How are you going to find a way to deliver value to your core audience, now that the idea of reaching a mass audience, unless you've got a really big following, you're talking hundreds of thousands and millions of followers or what have you, how are you going to deliver that value? How are you going to monetize? And that's where the challenge is right now. The good news, Marco, is you're finding out on platforms like Amazon Live is your audience is okay with you selling something, with you charging for something, with you recommending buying something. So you may have a smaller audience, but you have an audience that, if they like what you're doing, understands that they can also help themselves cut through the noise, help themselves have access to your content, maybe access to you, and are willing to pay for it, but at least they're willing, even if they're not, they're willing to listen to it. They understand that creators need to monetize. I'm very, very big on the idea that the live streamer or podcaster or YouTuber shouldn't be the only one who doesn't make money from this entire
Universe, yes.
operation, this entire
Yeah.
universe, right? The platforms are making money by selling advertising against our content. They're selling data. They're doing a lot. They're using it to keep people on platforms so that they can sell more advertising and more products. So they're monetizing. We need gear to go live that those companies are monetizing. We need some type of streaming service. We need bandwidth. We need internet. There's a lot that goes into this that we have to pay for, and nobody seems to mind those companies making money from it. The creator also has to be able to monetize for this to be sustainable over the long term. And it's a value that the creator can bring to brands and products, whether your own or other people's, through talking about them and providing a place for people to talk about them on live streams.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the thing is, without content creators, there's no platforms because
Right. The problem is we're not organized together. We're not, we don't have an ability
A
to
union.
right. We don't collectively flex our muscle, and so the platforms only have to knock me down, knock you down, knock somebody else out. They don't have to go, what happens if all the creators disappear, right? But hey, it's an idea, right? Creator day off or whatever. Hey, don't throttle us, dude.
Strike.
Yeah. But these platforms are so powerful that they sense you're the troublemaker. They can make you disappear from the platform, and then you don't have the ability to access people. It's a tough situation, but the positive to focus on is really focus on your audience and focus on delivering content that your audience wants and that your audience needs and that is helpful to them, and that ultimately you can go to a platform behind a paywall and you can offer some exclusive content, exclusive access, coaching, consulting. You can offer courses, memberships, special events, and you don't have to have a huge audience. You have to have a small, dedicated audience that's willing to pay and that loves your stuff and wants to spend time with you. And so rather than thinking about, I'm going to be internet famous or I need to get thousands and millions of viewers or followers, think about putting that core, delivering for your core, and then how, because you put it this way, right? You go live, you have 1,000 people watch, and nobody sets an appointment to work with you, right? But you could go live, and I did this experiment because I went live on I used to never do call to actions other than like check out my website or I'm going to be speaking here, get a ticket or whatever, but never, really call to action with anything for my business in the beginning. And I went live on a platform on an account with no followers, right? And I only had 10 people watch. But I did a call to action to set a free appointment for me. I'm going to be starting a course, a paid course, whatever. I got 3 people signed up out of 10. Now, from a business perspective, if you're measuring success with business metrics, not with social metrics, having 3 people take an action to go really a step closer to becoming a customer is more valuable to me if I'm only measuring it in business than is the live stream with thousands of viewers. Now, obviously, if you have thousands of viewers and you're good at doing a call to action and you have a product people want, you have the potential to make more. But
Absolutely.
don't don't let the lack of organic reach stop you from doing this. Think about how you can change your strategy and how you can define success and how you can make it successful that doesn't depend on Facebook sharing my live stream to, 2,000 friends.
Absolutely. And by the way,
Mhm.
we have a good a good friend, Randall Constant. It's here. Hello, Marco, and he has a question.
Sure.
I will answer make the answer first, but then you can answer as
Sure.
well, because Randall is asking, how did you get Ross to your Amazon Live? He's a rock star. And let me
Oh,
answer
thank you.
you. I asked him.
There you go.
And I think, because sometimes people, I don't know, maybe they think there's people are really unreachable and
Mhm.
they don't ask. And just the fact that you asked, you get a yes, and there you go.
That's it. That's it. I built my entire show for the first couple of years all around having guests on. I just was more comfortable that way. I felt like Blab that I started using, and then even when I was live streaming to the social platforms, I felt it was a conversational medium with a community, and so having a guest on and having a conversation was a good way to um, just kind of get things started with the show. And I just ask, you just reach out.
Absolutely.
Most people are willing to do it. Think
Indeed.
about what's in it for them, right? So I have a new book out, so that's one reason why I'm very open to coming on. Of course, I would come on with Marco even if I didn't have a book out. But think about what's in it for the guest, and you have something to offer. You're offering them a chance to talk to an audience. You're offering them a chance to be sort of the center of attention and get a nice introduction and reach new people, maybe make money. But mostly it's just about you have something to offer and think of it that way. And the worst thing they can do is say no. But most people are open to it if they're familiar. The biggest reason some people say no is just that they're not equipped to do this, right? They don't have the knowledge of the technology. They've never done it before. One of the things that Marco and I tend to have that's particularly helpful for this is many of the people that we talk to are live streamers and podcasters and YouTubers, or they're people who work for companies that serve that market. And so they're very familiar with doing this. So for them to say yes isn't like, oh, I got to go get a camera. Oops, I don't know if I have a microphone. I've never been on before. How do I do? Right? Like this is
Yeah.
old hat to us. So that's certainly depending on your niche. That can be an issue, but uh, start by asking people and then decide if it's a problem getting big people on, people you want to have on. Obviously, if somebody's, world famous or whatever, it's going to be difficult. But most of the people that you'd like to have on from your network or from your extended network or who, work in your industry will be more than happy to sit down and talk with you live.
Absolutely. And I have one question to follow that, but let me
Mhm.
go to the comments.
Sure.
So Rome said that I'm live 7 days week, and I agree with you, Ross. Just show up. Really important.
Mhm.
Being consistent. It's really important. Love it so far. Showing up. Zach is saying love it so far. Showing up 5 days a week for 2 hours at time, and it's so much better than 3 1 hour streams a week.
Mm.
Also, I come from YouTube product review videos, so it's 100% my wheelhouse.
Right, right, right.
Zach, I don't know that you are killing it, and you are started a month before me. Goals as a live streamer, I will say to new streamers in the beginning, watch your live streams to improve your content.
Mm.
Amazing tip. And this
Yeah.
is as because there's this thing, and I've been thinking about this because, and as I said before, it's important to be consistent. But the other day I was seeing people, okay, because I don't like those recipes one ingredient only, because I think it's the mixing properly of the thing that works. Because for instance, if you do it consistently, okay, but
Hmm.
you don't look back, you don't try to improve, pointless,
Right, right.
because it will look awful all the time.
No, I mean when you do watch, your live streams, when you do look back on your live streams, the question to ask yourself is, how can this be better? Like, what can I do better? And first, you start by stop doing things that are making the that are not helping the broadcast, right? So if you see you have certain habits or certain tendencies, if you I don't know, you talk over the guest, let's say. Not that that's a problem here, but for some people they talk over the guest, they interrupt the guest, they don't give the guest enough time to speak, or they don't do a good, like, so stop doing that, right? Then the next step is, is my introduction good? Am I asking good questions? Do I need to think more? Do I need to prep more? Do I need to prep less? There's a lot of little things that you look at. How do I get into segments? How do I get out of segments? How do I, promote what's coming up? How do I recap what happened? How do I move on to uh, sort of teasing the next week's show if you're doing a weekly show and you already have some idea what that show's going to be? There's a lot of little things that you can improve on, that just by watching and kind of watching it from outside yourself a little bit. Put yourself in the case of a viewer. Don't necessarily watch it like you would when you're, say, doing an uploaded video, right? Where you're looking at every single grain and pixel, right? You want to watch it like somebody else would watch it if they were watching it, which means they're kind of they're there, but they're also a little bit distracted by other things. They're not there, and you want to get a sense. How does this sound? How does it look? Start with that big picture stuff, and start with stopping things that you notice that aren't helpful to the broadcast.
Absolutely. And Zach is asking, and this is kind of the $1 million question, or at least
Right,
is one of that lays in that category.
right, right, right.
Any good ways to let people of your lives looking at SMS? Amazon, it's terrible at notifications. Yes, it is.
Mm. Um, That's probably SMS is not my area, so I won't pretend that I have a good answer. RJ Redden is one of the contributors to the book, and she has a company or a show called the Bot Signal. She does a lot with bots and automated notifications and things like that. RJ Redden, I would Google her and take a look at her content. Like I said,
Or
it's not an
or
area that
people
I know, but it's there's definitely people are having success doing those things, and it's something to look at.
or people can just buy the book, and by the way, you have on Amazon, you just click or tap the book in the carousel, and it's in a deal today. If you are watching on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, you can see in the description the link, affiliate link, so you'll be helping me. You are not paying more for the book, you're just getting I will get a tiny commission, but it will help me to eat, drink. Okay, so let's keep looking at the comments. And Rome is saying, I use the Ninja Cast as my switcher. I'm also thinking about getting the YOLO Box Pro. Rome, I shoot fashion and corp projects after 2020. Many are looking to go live now and in the future. This is something.
Yeah.
And funny thing here in Portugal, I don't know if I ever discussed this with you, but this is something that I typically talk with people, because mainly with American culture, because we are in a different culture. We are Christian Latins here in the southern Europe. Okay,
Right.
so
Right.
we have, and when I started back in 2015, and I back in 2016, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, when
Right.
I
Right.
talked
Right.
about live streaming, what? Get a life, go work.
Right.
So the thing is, people was didn't understand the power. And for instance, I got asked lots of times how I monetize my live stream journey and how we can monetize, and then I explained blah 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 blah. But the thing is, COVID came, and I
Changed
think
everything.
every day I get on my Facebook feed posts about people selling clothes, about those tarot readers. It's
Hmm.
that the right name?
Right. Right.
Shoes selling. So we see so many people embracing live streaming to sell. Yeah, it's not the best way. They do it kind of with the cell phone, just to, but they are overcome with things. So I think this is important that we are looking at live streaming, because I think one of the main misconceptions about live streaming when we talk about events, or putting things a little bit broader, is that, okay, if I open the door, people won't buy for me because there's, should I buy? But I thought, okay, but you're, as you mentioned before, you are getting other eyeballs to your things, and this is important, right?
So is are you saying that the concern is if I'm doing these live streams for free, why does anybody need to buy my paid content? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, and also, for instance, concerts, and for instance, these fashion shows.
Right, right, right. Yeah, I mean, I think live streaming is a form of outreach to an audience that, on one hand, you're trying to get new people into the fold, people who may not either know about you, or if they know about you, they haven't decided whether they like you yet or not, or how much they like you and how much they want to invest in you. So you're providing value, and value doesn't have to be just teaching somebody how to do something. It can be good information, it can be entertainment, it can be humor, it can be an engaging conversation, it can be answering a question. All those things will lead people in to wanting to consume more of your content, and ultimately being open to buying products and services, or exclusive access, or premium content from you. It's a long game, right? It's not something that you do your first live stream and now, okay, people are just gonna pay and pay and pay. You've got to develop a relationship with them in the virtual sense, where they're showing up, they're feeling like they're getting to know you, they can't wait for the next show, they look forward to being part of your community and asking questions in the chat. All these things take time, and you need to refine your skills and hone your skills as a host and as a communicator as well in this medium, because it's not the same as every other way that we communicate. And over time, you do open the door to those possibilities. But that's how it starts. If you have to pay a bill tomorrow or whatever, and you've never live streamed before, I would not say live streaming is the way to
For you
to
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 pay
do it,
bills.
right? But if you have goals, or you have business uh, objectives that you want to accomplish over the long term, live streaming can be a great way to do it.
Absolutely,
But
absolutely.
it's not the thing to do under the gun. But if you think about it as you're making an investment in, your business, you're kind of future proofing your business, you're developing a skill set that, online video is going to be more and more prominent each year. It's the scroll stopper on many of the social platforms. There's so much value in it if you can take that time to invest in it and learn about it and get good at it, and then you'll find the ability to monetize. Uh, isn't that challenging once you get to that point? But in the beginning, it's a long game. It really is. And, there's nothing worse than when people are really, really hurting and they think live streaming is something that they're going to do. And all of a sudden, people are going to be going to their website and buying products left and right.
Absolutely. Well, and there's you were mentioned that, and this for me was a struggle. This how you can go from free content to get paid gigs and these kind of things. But this is something that for me it's really important for, because there are so many ways, different ways and good ways for you to create content. And yes, you should start with free content, but my recommendation is think about how you can make money from that as soon as possible,
Yes.
because sometimes we don't have this in mind, because we heard so many people saying free content, and we forget to establish the right steps, the ladder steps. So okay,
Right.
today it's for free, but then tomorrow I will lead you to another place where I will charge you, or which you want to buy something from me, because this was a mistake I made. And it's really tough, really hard to change to skip the things
Mm.
if you don't have them well planned. So
Right. Right.
my recommendation is, okay, I'm gonna do this free content for, I don't know, maybe 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 1 year, but I know that after this time I have this system to get money from people,
Yeah.
and in an honest way.
Right. Right. I mean, I didn't necessarily know how I was going to monetize when I got started. But one thing I did is I set up Livestream Universe like a business, and I did everything that I could do in a way that was intentional and professional. Didn't mean I didn't experiment. Didn't mean I didn't make mistakes. Didn't mean I didn't have fun.
Absolutely, yes.
But I made sure that every time I went live, it was, Ross Brand from Livestream Universe, right? Like, one day, this is going to be how I market my business and get customers. In the beginning, it was just raising awareness, but do everything you can on the business side of this as though you're already in business and making money, because then you'll start developing the professional standards and the infrastructure that you need when it does start taking off as a business. All that will be in place. You'll be experienced at it, and you'll be sort of out there in the consciousness of people that you're already a business.
Absolutely. And by the way, we have here Randall. I
Hey,
think
Randall.
Randall, he's a baby boomer, and it's an awesome live streamer. Sir, there's no this thing. Oh, that's not for me. This is for young people. Okay, because it's not. It's for everybody. And Randall is same as well. StreamYard does it make it easy. One day I will be able to get Marco as a guest when you want. You just have to. You just need to have those nice foods you usually have.
So cool.
Ross, we are about to reach the end,
Oh,
but I'm gonna throw you a challenge.
okay.
Okay, let's pretend we are at September, October 2022, and you are preparing your 100 book, 100 predictions book for next year. Okay, let's make this disclosure. Meanwhile, your thoughts may change, but if it was today that I was Ross Brand
Hmm.
and you were one of the invited professionals, which prediction will you make?
Wow, that's a tough one. See, my job's easier. I watch what other people say and then I sit back. Um, I think that you know, and this is an obvious one and goes along with what we said, but I just think that the integration of e-commerce with live streaming is coming and it's going to be at another level. And you know, I don't know if that's all going to happen in 2023, but it means that there'll be other businesses that have large platforms like Amazon does that will provide live streaming and have creators going live and talking about products that you can buy on that website. I also think more platforms or more apps or software will integrate in stream buying. So I'm watching your live stream on Facebook, and you can put up a product of yours, and I can just click on that product and buy it without leaving the live stream or with it taking me there or by scanning a QR code. It's going to become easier and easier. You're not going to have to keep repeating a web address or talking about a link in the description. Like the product you're talking about is just you'll be able to put it right up as an overlay, and it may be clickable or scannable, but it's going to become easier and easier. You see some platforms are already adding that, but you're gonna see that both on the side of the software and the streaming services we use, and also on the end of the destinations. Whoever gets that right is going to have a big edge in the social live streaming marketplace.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, my friend, we came to the end. Where
Thank you so much for having me, man. I really appreciate it. I really do. You've been great. You had me last time, and assuming there's a book three, would love
okay,
to love to come back and do it again.
you have a spot for you. You can show it. You can show it. Come on, let me do this. Let me put you on in the big screen. Let me highlight you so people can see properly. Okay, show it. Show it all.
Gets caught in the green screen a little bit, but there it is. 100 live streaming and digital media predictions, volume two, and Marco is one of our featured contributors. 130 contributors, 100 predictions, 30 strategy entries as well, and expanded resources in the back. A lot of good stuff.
Absolutely. So, where can people find you, Ross?
They can find me at livestreamuniverse.com, and they can find me on Twitter at the letter I, Ross Brand.
Okay, Randall is saying congrats, Ross, and I
Thank
think
you.
this is for you. I remember when you did a LinkedIn live at the broadcasting show about 3 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't done LinkedIn Lives in a while. That was a platform that really was great. Like it was hard to get on, but once they accepted you, it was a great opportunity, but not sure what's going on with it now. I haven't been
I
doing
don't
a lot
think,
of LinkedIn Lives lately.
yeah. I think it's stable.
Mm.
But okay, thank you so much, Ross. Thank you
Thanks
so
for having
much.
me, Marco.
It was a pleasure. Thanks to all of you who were watching the show. By the way, okay, let me highlight the book for a little bit more. Okay, so you can get the book with a nice deal today on Amazon. Also, if you are watching on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, you can find the link in the description. It's an affiliate link, so if you get the book from there, I will get a small commission. Okay, I need to tell this, otherwise the social media gods will punish me. Thank you so much. I will be back soon, if not before Friday. We will get back with the amazing show, Ryan Swanstrom and I, so stay tuned. Enjoy the rest of the day. See you later.
Thank you.
Bye bye.